Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the weekly market recap, special recap, so stay tuned until the end. In the meantime, like, subscribe, share with friends. Let's see the charts. Very special recap video. End of the week, end of the month, end of Q3 of 2023. So we will zoom out, zoom in from the monthly to the weekly to the daily to get a better price action, point of view of price action. We will start with the SPY on the monthly, second month to the downside, 5% to the downside, 5 Fibonacci number. If October will be red, we have another 3% to the downside, and then we will hit the 419. And the weekly, it looks like this, 421, which is also the 50% retracement, closed with the doji. Doji signals indecision in the market and maybe a trend reversal. In this case, to the upside, we need a weekly close above 430 to validate this trend reversal. And the daily, we had July lows, we had July highs, lower highs in September, lower lows. So as you can see, monthly, weekly, daily downtrend until proven otherwise. QQQ, same thing basically. We had November's highs. Now we had also August and July's highs, lower highs on the yearly, 5%, 5.2% on the monthly. Next, 347, below 347, we are heading towards the 322 on the monthly. And the weekly, same as the SPY, we close with a doji. We have this short-term trend line, bounced over here. Now let's see if we can bounce over here. Let's take a look on the daily. Swing low, swing high, we still have here 364 gap needs to get filled, but 362, very tough resistance, closed red on the daily. 351 is the support. Dow Jones, 3.7% to the downside, but it's still holding this trend line on the monthly. Overall, since November 22, Dow Jones, higher lows, higher highs. Let's see if we can get a bounce. Breaking below this trend line on a monthly basis, we are heading towards the 314 and then 300. On the weekly, very bearish sentiment, 4 consecutive weeks. One more week to the downside towards the 325 will not be a surprise. On the daily, same thing all across the board. We are bearish sentiment. 340 will become a very tough resistance. 332 on the daily, very important level of support. And then we are heading towards this gap over here. Below this gap, we are heading towards the 328. And this is why I always say it's super important to zoom out and zoom in to get the best price action that you can observe. IWM, higher lows since June of 2022, but basically during 2023, nothing much. 172 is the support. All this area, the 200, very tough resistance. Short continuation below 171, and then we will head the 161, below 161. Be prepared to 144. Weekly doji on the IWM, we have this uptrend line. Bounce, bounce. Let's see if we can validate this bounce. We need a weekly close. You go to the daily, we have here a gap, a weekly close above 180, and then we might get a bounce towards 183 and back to 186. But overall, bears are also in control on IWM. Bitcoin on the monthly for now, 18 more hours till the month of Bitcoin will end. 18 hours since I recording this video. We can take Fibonacci below 24,900. We will see 21,300 And the weekly, same thing. We have some kind of a left shoulder head, and maybe if we can get towards the 29K, right shoulder. But overall, since August, sideways move, short continuation below the 24,900 towards the 21,800. And the daily, it looks like this. We have lower highs, higher lows. Something needs to give. Bulls to the upside towards the 28, 29K. Bears to the downside below this yellow trend line. And we are back to the 24,800. Ethereum, let's take a look on the monthly. For now, we have a doji. We also have this trend line that helps us to identify that since June of 2022, on the monthly, we are in some kind of an uptrend since 890 towards now we are in the 1670 area, higher lows, but all this area, the 2K, very tough resistance, breaking below this trend line, and we are heading towards the 11 and then back below 1K. And the weekly, we have trend lines. We don't need to guess the trend. We have this trend line since peak of April, lower highs, lower lows, and as long as Ethereum on the weekly is inside this channel, the way is south. On the daily, we can see important support over here, tough resistance over here, moving sideways, long continuation above 1700 towards the 1750, above 1750. We are heading, let's mark it so it'll be much easier, to the 1800. What else do we have? SOXX. Let's clean the charts. Too many noise. Same as the Qs, going south, lower highs, two consecutive red months below September lows. We are heading towards the 445 on the monthly, and the weekly green week, but overall lower highs, lower lows, and we have this trend line to help us identify that for now we have lower lows. We need a weekly close. We can take Fibonacci weekly close above 480, and we are heading towards 403, 405 area below this yellow trend line, and the way down will be very rush. It will be like a jumping bungee towards the 431 and then 400. On the daily, nothing much. We have lower highs, lower lows, so we are in a downtrend channel until proven otherwise. Take 1 second, hit the like, subscribe, share with friends, will be much appreciated. Help me grow this channel so we can reach a broader audience and we can help each other to become better traders on the technical side and the psychology behind trading. Apple on the monthly, 167 now. Below it, we can take Fibonacci also on the monthly. Below 167, 166, we are heading towards 148. On the weekly, after two consecutive inside weeks, last week, doji, but to the downside, lower highs since July's highs, lower lows. So, some will say we have a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. I don't know why they say it, because as long as we have lower highs, lower lows, the way is south. On the daily, we can take Fibonacci, 169 holding as support, 173 is the resistance, only 2 or 3 days above 173, and then we can start taking long on Apple on the daily towards the 167 and then 182, closing this gap. Microsoft, not surprising, 2 months of a downside move, Now, this area, 312, look left. Resistance, resistance, now becomes support. Breaking below it, where price might be heading next, 280 on the monthly. On the weekly, we have a doji, but once again, lower lows, lower highs, we need a weekly close, or at least 2 or 3 days above last week's highs, above the 319, and then we can take Fibonacci. We don't need to guess. Above 321, we are heading towards the 330 on the weekly. On the daily, it all depends on which time frame you're trading, but it's very important always to zoom in, zoom out to get a better point of view. On the daily, 315 holding, below it 309, below 309. In my opinion, this gap will get filled. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the 280 gap on Microsoft. When and if it will get filled. I don't have any opinion, but you know that more than 80-85% of all gaps, whether they are to the downside or to the upside, will get filled. Let's clean the chart. Also on Netflix, very bearish month on the Netflix, but overall, since June, nice trend to the upside. Below September lows, we are heading towards 348 and then 316 on the weekly. Some kind of a doji, but 3 consecutive bearish candles. Let's see if bulls of Netflix, and of course it all depends also on the sentiment in the overall market. As you can see here, we can take. We don't even need lines. We don't even need candles. We can see this trend line. Can we get a bounce of this trend line at around 360 area? On the daily, trend lines gives us everything that we need. And as long as Netflix is sliding down this yellow trend line, we are in a downtrend. Don't fight the trend, because if you do, you will blow up your account. And once you blow up your account, you're done. It's like losing your business. Treat trading as a business. Once you open a business, you know that the first 2 or 3 years will be rough. Same as in trading. It's a business. Treat it like one. Shopify gave back all August gains. 50.6 is the support. Below it, where Shopify might be heading next. And the monthly, no need to guess. 46.70 and then 36.22. And the weekly, try to bounce, but lower highs, lower lows. We can take Fibonacci and trend lines, and here we are. Almost bounce. It's an area. Let's see bounce continuation above last week's highs. In my opinion, not my opinion, Fibonacci's opinion, long only above 55.50, at least 2 days above it. On the daily, it looks like this. Gap here needs to get filled. It might get filled already on Monday. This is the support. Why it's support? Because it was a very tough resistance over here. We have also a gap over here. So basically, very tough conditions on Shopify. If you want to go long, a weekly close above 56.70, and of course, it's my opinion. Never follow me or anyone else on social media blindly, and it doesn't matter how many subscribers or followers they have on YouTube or on Twitter or any other Telegram or Discord groups. Always do your own due diligence. Get ideas from others, but at the end of the day, it's your money. Amazon, 8% to the downside in September. Now, all this area, this 122.40 is a very important area of support for the monthly. because below it we are heading towards the 105. And the weekly it looks like this, also a doji, but overall we have double top scenario on Amazon. And the weekly we can take Fibonacci, 124 needs to hold, below it 119, 115 and 109. Always be prepared for both sides because we never know what will happen next. But if we understand, don't need to be accurate. Let's go to the line chart. Much more easy to draw trend lines and line chart. Low, low, low. Now, almost touched and bounce, but overall, downtrend on Amazon. Let's see continuation. In my opinion, long only above 131, and then we have this gap over here, and then 131 will get retested before the next leg up towards 144 and 145. Tesla on the monthly, 3 consecutive dojis. Nothing much on Tesla on the monthly, but you can clearly see we have a trend line since November 2021 highs. Trend line that each and every time, and once again, it doesn't need to be accurate. It's an area of resistance or support, depends where price is. In this case, it's resistance. Very tough resistance, as you can see, since November 2021. Each and every time Tesla reached, got rejected. Reached, got rejected. Now, 3 consecutive months, Tesla trying to break above this yellow trend line without succeeding. Which means, if bulls will give up, and it will happen 1 or 2 weeks failing to break above this yellow trend line, bulls will fail, they will give up, and then we are going towards 197 and then 153. Be prepared. Weekly close above 300, above this yellow trend line. Let's take a look on the weekly. We have this trend line from the monthly. We have this area of support. Now we can also see double top scenario on Tesla on the weekly. 260 needs to hold, otherwise the way towards 160 is here. Will be very fast. Be prepared for both sides. On the day it looks like this. We can take Fibonacci like this. Short, we can start our short position below 241 towards the 220. Below 220, we are heading towards 190. If you want to go long on Tesla, and of course it's only my opinion, everything here is for educational purposes only, above 255, 2 days at least, and then take under consideration this yellow trend line that will become a very tough resistance. Nvidia inside month, which is pretty good, holding all this area. We can take also Fibonacci on the monthly, all this area, the 374 and the 400, very important area of support. Below it 310 and then 230 to the downside. And the weekly inside week, let's take trend lines on the weekly. Let's see where it's heading. Above 443, and we are heading towards 475, above 475, and we will retest this area over here at between 560 and 580. Depends on the volatility of the market. On the daily, we need to wait. We have all this area, the 405, 406 area support, long only above 440. A weekly close below 406, and we are heading towards the 370, below 370, and we will close this gap at the 306. Always look at both sides, prepare for both sides. Never be biased. Your thoughts and your opinions doesn't matter. Market doesn't care what you think. And this stock and that stock, they don't care. It don't care. The market. It does what it does. No one knows what it wants to do. So we need to prepare for both sides. AMD on the monthly, 4 consecutive dojis, but to the downside. And as we can see, we have this trend line over here. Let's make it on the line chart. And you can see tough resistance on the monthly. Look at this. Below September lows, we are heading towards 81. On the weekly, what do we see? Trend lines to the downside in the past week, 6.8% to the upside, but still one candle does not change the overall sentiment. And for now, since June's highs, May's highs, the way is down. On the daily, it looks like this. Thursday, 4.8% to the upside, gave some back, but overall, follow the trend, and the trend is south. Meta, too much noise. Meta with an inside doji, almost closed. The open and the close of the month, basically the same. Open 299.37, close 300.2. Doji indecision, but overall Meta is holding strong relative strength to the rest of the market. On the weekly, it looks like this. We have consolidation on Meta. Be prepared for both sides because price can go both sides. Long continuation, weekly close, or 2-3 days above the triangle towards the 326, and then 357 and 386. 2-3 days or a weekly close below this triangle, and we are heading towards 253 area. On the daily, it looks like this, because in the end of the day, we trade on the daily. Swing trading on the daily. You can trade swing trading on the daily, on the 4 hours, on the weekly, or on the monthly. Usually, most traders swings on the daily and on the 4 hours. 314 to the upside. We are waiting for a break above it, at least 2 days above 314, and then 325. And we need to prepare for the other side going south. Short, we will start taking short below 292. And when I say we, I mean in the Fibonacci-Traders Discord. You're more than welcome to join us. Check these links in the description below. We have several paths you can choose from. We have the one-on-one live mentorship with me. We have the same program, but pre-recorded, 6 hours, 49 lessons. Both programs guaranteed lifetime access for support, guidance, all Discord channels, and the lifetime access for support and guidance, and the one-on-one mentorship, and the pre-recorded, of course, it's with me, no one else. Google, so check the links in the description below. We have also some nice discounts. Google, and of course, everything is available in Hebrew and in English. Google, nothing much on the monthly. We have this here, we have this here, support. Below the support, we are heading towards the 120, above 138, and we are heading towards 150, but lower highs on a higher time frame. Google on the weekly, Doji 126 holding a support because it was a very important level of support over here. Tough resistance. Now also support with the Doji. We can start long above 134 towards the 139. Above 139, we have all these levels to the upside. Short, below 126 on the weekly, towards the 121, below 121, 115, and yes, technical analysis, it's only technical analysis. It's not rocket science. The hardest part of technical analysis and trading, not in technical analysis, in trading, is the psychology behind trading. We need to adjust our mentality also into our trading. Who are we? What are we? What do we want to do? Where do we want to take our trading journey? Do we want to be day traders? Can we handle being day traders, the anxiety, the pressure? Or we can also be swing traders on the weekly charts. We check 2 times a week what our stock is doing, and that's it. Manage the risk. This is the psychology behind trading, is something that I mention, and we go thoroughly in our one-on-one live mentorship, and of course in the pre-recorded. We go thoroughly and try to customize the mentality and the psychology behind trading on each and every student. So check the links in the description below if you want to take your trading journey to the highest level. Stop following others, including myself, to tell you what to do, where to buy, what to buy. Learn yourself how you can handle better risk management, taking profits, adding to winning positions, and closing losing positions. This is how we become professional traders. So I hope you found this special recap video educational and helpful. If you did, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with friends, will be much appreciated. Until the next video, enjoy the rest of your weekend.